Hello everybody, how are you all? Right now I am sitting outside the Hotel Root Inn. The Hotel Root Inn, Hakata Ekinama, the rest of the name. So I'm still in Fukuoka. I have finally met up with the scouts and it is a rather interesting situation. So I'll go back one day. Yesterday I did the waking up, I did the getting out of bed, and I went to meet the part of the contingent, the scout contingent I was going to meet with. And there was Mr. Yarker, like Parker, but with a Y. He was the first person I encountered. He was waiting outside in the hotel lobby. And he is a very interesting character. He loves to play his little practical jokes. He is quite the joker. There are a few, we'll say, slightly more gullible kids in the troupe, and he messes with them mercilessly. So, met with them, went upstairs. There are three other guys there. Edward Champ, Oliver Champ, and Casper something. Two brothers and then Casper. They're all from the same troupe in Beijing. It's a BSA troupe that's in Beijing, which apparently is a thing. And so we went out into town. But well, first, before we went out to do some seeing of sights, I went to Family Mart. So Family Mart and 7-Elevens, they're everywhere. Like often on the same block, you will encounter two of them. I went there because I wanted to eat, but I wanted to eat very cheaply, and they've got instant noodles there. Now, the coolest thing about them that I only found out then, because Mr. Yarker told me, they have hot water in the convenience store. Like earlier, I had just gone to, that's Casper. Hi, Casper. He's a very lovely person. So they actually have hot water at the convenience store, which is crazy. Oh, no, it's fine. So yeah, they have that at the convenience store. It's incredible. It makes it so easy. You just get your cup of noodles, you go right in. It's awesome. So I did that, 113 yen, or 127, because tax is a thing. And what happened after that? We took the subway to Tenjin. Tenjin is the big town center area of Fukuoka. It's crazy. Fukuoka has a very New York-esque feel to it. It's very new, very modern, all sorts of interesting stuff like that. Hello. How are you? What'd you say? I'm sorry. I is my new best friend. Oh, I don't think we'll be best friends for too long. My heart is broken. I will never know what that man said to me. Never. It's a shame. This is why I sort of learned Japanese beforehand. Okay, so we went into Tenjin. Really cool. There are all sorts of crazy shops. We went down to the food area, and oh, I should have told you, Mr. Yarker, he has lived in Japan for 36 years. So he's fluent. He knows his stuff. He's like, oh yeah, that's this thing, that's this stuff. Talking to people in Japanese, it's wonderful to have a guy like that to show us around. So we're walking around Tenjin. He showed us this place, the pachinko slots, which is, gambling is illegal in Japan, but of course there are loopholes around it. So the pachinko slots, we just sort of went in and stood in the lobby area of one. Okay, so you open up the doors, you walk in, and it's so loud you can't hear yourself think. He was talking to us, and we had to like all lean in just to be able to hear him. There are these little machines where you turn a dial and you hit a thingamajig, and you try to get more random balls to come out, and then I don't really get how it works, but I get it's sort of like a mindless gambling thing. And since you can't actually gamble, all the points that you get afterwards, you can buy trinkets at the end store. But right next door to the pachinko slot area is a little hole in the wall where they'll buy those off you for cash. So basically it lets people gamble. and it's so loud, such a mind-numbing place. So it'd be terrible to spend a day there. And people spend long amounts of time there. Let's see. After that, we walked around more, saw some places with food that were too expensive for us at the time. And then we left Tenjin and we went to see some temples and shrines. They're different from each other. Shrines are for the Shinto religion in Japan. Temples are for the Buddhists. They're very beautiful. We saw a graveyard in the Buddhist temple in the back. Tons. They're very organized, packed together. Very interesting. Let's see. After that, we went to Canal City, which is this big indoor-outdoor shopping mall place. It's very grand. There lots of stuff in Japan is very, very grand. Just very impressive. And I'd heard earlier there was a Cold Stone Creamery there. And yes, it's Cold Stone. There's those in Pittsburgh. But I needed a lot of ice cream. Well, I didn't need a lot of ice cream, but I convinced myself that I needed a lot of ice cream. So we tracked that down in there. Oh, there was also sort of like, not at the point, but wherever it is in Pittsburgh where there's a bunch of mini fountains and they spray around randomly. There was one of those in Canal City. There are a bunch of little Japanese children playing in there, and they're so adorable. Since I can't actually remember what normal little kids playing in fountain look like, I can't objectively say that Japanese children playing are more adorable than American children, but they're adorable nonetheless. That I can say is a fact. After that, we got lost for a bit. That was lovely. Always fun to do. We got lost. We got found lunch. Noodles again. Going on the cheap. Poop. And at that time, I was beginning to get a headache. We walked back to the hotel by Hakata bus station. I was getting a stronger headache. So they went to see the bullet train. I took a nap because I'd already been on the bullet train. And I slept until Mr. Yaka woke me up for dinner. And at that point, my headache was even worse. And we went to go have okonomiyaki, which is a really cool dish. And I wanted to have some in Hiroshima, but we didn't have time for it. I'm like, yes, I get to have okonomiyaki now. But I did have some. I had exactly 2 bites. But my head hurt so much that I could not enjoy the food or eat anymore or think much about besides my head hurting. So I didn't really get to enjoy the okonomiyaki, and I'm going to say that I technically haven't had any since I had 2 bites and my taste buds weren't working. So I still need to have that. Gotta do that. So yeah, I went straight to bed after that. The next day, that's when all the crazy stuff, well, not crazy stuff, that's when all the people started happening. We went to the airport around 9, and everyone else came. So at the morning, there's only 4 of us scouts and Mr. Yaka. By the end of the day, so by 3:30, like we were in the airport from 9 till 3:30 just waiting, we have 36 scouts now. It's a lot of people. And they're from everywhere. We got people from Guam, people from different parts of Japan, Australia, Beijing, New York City, or Long Island. Everywhere. It's awesome. I've found out, or I've done some initial surveying, and I've made the hypothesis that every person, or at least every scout on Earth, knows how to play BS. I've been polling people on the card games that they play. Everyone knows how to play BS. Which, I mean, I guess is good that there's like a universal card game, but it's bad because that card game sucks. I was taught a Big Two, or Chinese poker, which is a sort of souped up presidents. I'm going to have to teach people part of that. I'm going to have to learn the rules better. It was very interesting passing the time with the scouts in the airport. A lot of waiting. Met Gunner. He's a pretty cool dude. He's from Singapore. And, he had a quote I should actually write down. And, I said something about, man, wishing I had learned more of the language because I can't really communicate and that's annoying. We said a few other things, and then he said, yeah, how do I phrase it? It doesn't count as travel if you don't make a fool of yourself in the new culture. It was much more eloquent the way he put it, but it encapsulated that you have to at some point just realize, like, oh crap, I've made a complete fool of myself, to then like be a bit more humble and be willing to understand the new culture. And it was just very lovely how he put it. I'll have to ask him, or just think harder, or make up a new version of what he said. I might do that. Afterwards, we got everybody here. We have all the scouts. We had dinner together. That was lovely. Stuffed myself dinner because I'm now in sort of survival travel mode where all food is consumed, thinking I need that stored up for later, which I guess I kind of do. Don't have to worry about getting fat when you're at a jamboree and then going about to bike 5,000 miles. It's a pretty cool thing. Let's see, anything else interesting happen? Blah blah blah. I'm looking at my notebook now. Wesley Graves, blah 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 blah. Then I think I nailed it. Now I really hope I was talking loud enough to be heard. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to retake this. Love you all. Yes, I mean you too. And hope all is well in the States.